Hello, hello, hello. It's Rahama, and today I'm coming to you from a pop-up location that I've been curating for the last few weeks on behalf of women and minority-owned businesses in DC. So I started doing these pop-ups in 2018, and initially it was just for the holiday season. And I had the space on H Street in Northeast DC, and I wasn't really using the space and maximizing it. So I thought to myself, why not create a holiday pop-up and invite other brand owners who are either women-owned or minority-owned and give them an opportunity to drive sales for the holiday season. It was supposed to just be a one-time thing. It was incredibly informally organized, not a lot of structure around it. And it actually turned into a thing where, because of the interest of DC Government Small Business Office, they run this program called Made in DC. The Small Business Office really wants to support the maker community in the DC metro area. And because they took interest in these pop-ups, they kind of opened the door and provided more opportunity for me to do more pop-ups throughout the city, as well as at Washington National Airport. So something in 2018 that I was just supposed to be for a couple of weeks turned into multiple pop-ups over the last, almost 4 years now, 18, 19, 20, 4 years. Look at me doing math. And so now we're doing our very first pop-up of 2021 in DuPont Circle, and we're highlighting and featuring about 30 local brands, everything from apparel, jewelry makers, candle makers, home goods. Of course, Shailene is featured as well. And I just wanted to reflect back on what I've learned doing these pop-ups, just in case any of you are interested in running your own pop-up, or if you're interested in just learning about what is the behind the scenes of creating retail pop-ups, because I really think with COVID-19, we're going to see a lot more pop-ups because so many retail locations have shut down. And pop-ups are a really great way to take and convert spaces on a temporary basis and make it shoppable and make it interesting for people who either work or live in the community. Okay, so what are some of the things I've learned running a pop-up? Number one, it's really important to identify local partners that you can work with. It's super hard to find space, especially in DC where it's very expensive, rent is very high. And so in order to find the right space and be able to negotiate really good terms, you have to have partners who can help you do that. And so for this particular pop-up, we've partnered with DSLBD's Made in DC program and also the Golden Triangle Business District, which created a program called Grow Golden. And so with that program, we're able to connect with property managers who are looking to use their space in a way that is unique, but of course on a temporary basis, and either reduce rent or only rent based on a % of sales, which is really, really useful when you're a small business and you can't afford, let's say, $10,000 a month in rent. The other thing, in addition to finding the right partners, is curating a nice mix of products. I'm a brand owner. I run my own business. I sell beauty care products. But as you can see behind me, we have much more than beauty care products. And the reason why I've discovered doing pop-ups is that someone might come in and they might want a beauty care product, but they also might be getting a gift and they would love a sweatshirt or a piece of jewelry. And so it's really the mantra of stronger together. I clearly don't create sweatshirts or jewelry, but I can work with other brand owners who do that, and it's a win-win situation. Someone might come and support my brand, or they could also support someone else's brand, or they could support both of our brands. So this idea of bringing together a really interesting, unique mix of products and brand owners means that we are able to collectively drive more sales and collectively support all of our businesses. The third thing is staffing is a challenge. So the way our pop-ups work is they're fully staffed. That means I am staffing it, or I have part-time folks who are helping me staff it as well. And one of the hardest things I've had to manage is staffing of the pop-ups. And part of the reason I believe is that it's just really hard to find people, especially at the entry level, who are reliable, who are consistent. A lot of the things that I've seen and observed is people calling out, showing up late, or not even showing up to their shift at all. And it can be incredibly frustrating because we actually start at a fairly competitive hourly salary for entry-level retail support, and it's really, really hard to find people who are willing to do a great job when it comes to retail. And I guess the final thing is making sure that you have a really strong admin/management process. So because we operate this as a retail space, like a traditional retail space, we use one POS system. Every month, all the transactions that are made through that one POS system, I can run a report that shows how much each individual brand has sold so that we can pay them what is owed to them. So we take a percent of sale to cover all of our costs. So this beautiful space costs money, utilities cost money, and then of course, staffing it also costs money. So a percent of sale goes to those costs, and then the brand owner gets everything else. But if we didn't document everything, and part of the reason why we do not take cash is so everything is done through an electronic transfer, and it just really helps to organize all the sales data and all the transactions. So those are the tips. Those are the tips that I have. Those are some of my lessons learned. And honestly, too, it's really hard to run a pop-up if you don't enjoy it and if you don't have fun. So I try to always enjoy running these pop-ups. I love meeting and talking to customers. I find that a lot of customers, one, they love supporting local, which bonus points for us. And then two, they actually really love and enjoy meeting the people who are behind the brand and meeting the brand owners. So pop-up is a really great way to connect with a new customer, connect with a new audience. And so those are my tips. I'll talk to you guys later. So these are my tips on running a successful pop-up. And if you like this video, please like below, comment, and or share it with your network.